let's look at the hieroglyphs in the cartouches to see who the king is. Well, the first hieroglyph is the solar disk, Re. Next, we have a water sign N. That's followed by a word we know, spelled out in full. Ma'at, truth. It's Nimaatre, one of the names of King Amenemhat III. Let's see what other hieroglyphs we recognize and what story they're trying to tell us. Look between the cartouches. What do you see? First tell me if it reads from right to left or left to right. We have a Nefer hieroglyph, but that can't help us determine right to left or left to right because it's a symmetrical hieroglyph. But we can tell from the Netzer sign, which means God. The text reads from right to left. What do the two hieroglyphs mean? Well, Nefer is good, so we have the good God. Let's keep reading downward. What's next? Yes, the Neb sign, which means either Lord or all. Which one? Since we just had good God, it's probably Lord. And what comes next confirms that. Those two thin lozenges are the two lands. So the king, the good God, is also Lord of the two lands, a traditional title. Now, what's under the two lands? 3 foreign land signs. And under that is another Neb sign. This time, all makes the most sense for the meaning of Neb. So Amenemhat III is Lord of the two lands, Lord of all foreign lands. You probably noticed the loaf T under the bottom Neb sign. Can you figure out why it's there? Because the word for foreign land, hast, is feminine. So, the pectoral is all about Amenemhat III. Let's find him. The two symmetrical representations of Amenemhat show him in a smiting pose. Remember when we were looking at the Narmer palette? And I said this pose would be used for centuries as the logo for both kingship and Egypt? Well, here it is, 1,000 years later. Things don't change quickly in Egypt. Amenemhat is holding a foreign enemy by the hair, and he's about to smite him with a mace, basically the rock on a stick. We can be sure the smiter is the king, not just from the pose. There are other clues. He wears a royal kilt and also a royal wig with a cobra in front. No one in ancient Egypt could miss this. It's the king. Another reason we can be sure we have the king is the Ankh hieroglyph, meaning life, with hands holding a sunshade. The sunshade is a prerogative of royalty alone. Amenemhat will not have to fight in the broiling sun. There are quite a few hieroglyphs above the king, but the central figure is the vulture goddess, Nekhbet. She's a protective deity associated with the pharaoh. Look what she holds in her talons, an Ankh hieroglyph with the Dejed hieroglyph coming out of it. She's protecting Amenemhat with life and stability. If we look above Nekhbet, we can see 2 more hieroglyphs. The Neb is easy to spot, but you have to look closely to see what the other hieroglyph is. It's the sky, Pet. The 2 hieroglyphs form her title, Mistress of the Sky. It really says Lord of the Sky. There should be a feminine loaf T under the Neb signs to make it Mistress rather than Lord, but the craftsman didn't have room. On pieces like this, with limited space, there are often abbreviations.